Kelly, at this hour, the Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin and the Chief of Staff Mark Meadows are just in the process of wrapping up a luncheon with all Republican senators where they're trying to present what's been agreed upon so far and reach a consensus on some of the nuts and bolts of the next round of stimulus so they can present to Democrats later today a proposal to continue negotiating. The contours of the Republican package so far would include about $105 billion for schools, direct checks, incentives for large and small businesses to retain workers, money for testing, and also liability protections for businesses. The White House is still pushing for a payroll tax holiday, though that remains unpopular on Capitol Hill. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell on the Senate floor earlier today said the U.S. economy doesn't need the CARES Act, but it's also not ready to go back to normal.
Our country is in a complex middle ground between those two things. We can't go back to April, and we can't snap our fingers and finish the vaccine overnight. We need to carve out a new normal.
Democrats also support stimulus checks, school funding of roughly the same amount as Republicans, and small business relief. But they also want $1 trillion in aid for state and local governments and for unemployment benefits to continue at the level of generosity as enacted in the CARES Act. Meanwhile, in Delaware, the presumptive Democratic nominee Joe Biden has rolled out another pillar of his economic plan, a $775 billion proposal for the care of children, elderly, and the disabled. He is currently giving a speech in Newcastle, Delaware right now, talking about this plan. It would be paid for by increasing taxes on real estate investors and removing other tax loopholes. Tyler and Kelly.
What's the timeline on this, Kayla? When do they hope to get it done?
Well, it depends on how soon they can reach a deal, Tyler. We have about 2 to 3 weeks between now and the end of this work period for members of Congress. But many of these programs, the eviction moratorium, expanded unemployment benefits, run out this Friday. So they're definitely racing the clock. And it is at least a week or so, I would say, in Washington timeframe. Although we saw with the CARES Act, they were able to move at breakneck speed over weekends, over nights to try to move as quickly as possible. Unclear there's that urgency this time around, but we've certainly seen it happen before.